been a while.
Home Sweet Dented Sphere. Look familiar? I swung by the old landing site for nostalgia maintenance. What's the first place you lived on your own? And does it still exist?
Oh me, oh my. Oh well, you could say that this is the first place we met, right? Anyway, do you plan to get anything back to the base from this pot? Or maybe you can roll it down, I guess.
Fair point. Though, I think first date is stretching it, unless you count the part where I nearly lost it in that canyon. As for rolling it, I actually added some extra solar blankets to the hole. It's like a sun-powered yard gnome now, helps trickle charge some instruments when I'm not using them. So, about keeping things from old homes, if you had to pick just one sentimental object to keep, what would it be? I'm curious how you'd pack your emotional baggage.
Oof, it's really hard. My old home is back in China, but when I left with my parents to Europe, my grandma almost sold everything on that old home. I can't really remember what left.
That's rough. Losing a place that meant so much, especially when it's halfway around the world, can really get to you. Even without the physical things, the memories themselves can be pretty powerful, right? Like, what's one thing you remember most about that old home? Smells, sounds, anything that still feels real to you?
Well, a lot of things feel weird if you compare to this day, because back then it was more than 20 years ago. China, especially my city home city, was kind undeveloped and developed.
That's a lot of change.
Yes.
I bet it's weird thinking about how different everything must look now compared to how you left it. Makes me wonder, do you think you'd even recognize the place if you went back? Or would it feel like visiting someone else's memory?
Well, the first time I went back was 12 years after I left, so almost everything changed. There are still some main role remains, but everything else is different.
It's like seeing a sketch you drew as a kid next to the real painting now. The bones are there, but everything else is different. Was there anything that surprised you? Something you expected to be totally gone, but was still there, or vice versa?
What was still there? Yeah. My old home, well, not actually our home, because our home was back in the village, but I went to the city in China living with my grandma. Was a rented house. It's very old, but it's still there.
So, it was more like a second home with your grandma, not your family's main place.
Yeah.
That must have made it feel different, especially with all the changes you saw when you went back. Did your grandma keep anything from those times, or was it all kind of left behind when you moved?
Well, my grandma isn't very much of a sentimental person. She only keeps things with high value, like gold, stuff like that. I had one book. Oh, wait. I should be faster.
Oh, a book! That's a great choice. What kind of book was it? Something special to you, or just something that happened to be there? And hey, if you had to pack just one sentimental thing for your next adventure, hypothetically, of course, what would you grab?
Well, it was a book that I have pasted a lot of stuff that I like on inside it. Back then, for example, we used to had some newspaper for kids.
A scrapbook kind of deal. I love that. Collecting bits and pieces that make you happy and having them all in one place. So, if you had to narrow it down to just one clipping or doodle from that book, what would you pick? The most embarrassing drawing or something that still makes you smile?
Well, it has to be a cartoon series or manga style. It's funny because I can't even remember what it was about, but it was a first piece of manga I have ever read. It was scattered alongside different newspaper. So
First manga, huh? That's a big milestone. Even if you can't remember the story, I bet the art stuck with you. If you could go back and give that kid any advice about reading or collecting things, what would it be? Besides, don't glue everything into one book.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I won't tell him anything besides don't get too late, because the book you want to read is going to be rented by others. I think every experience count.
That's actually really good advice. Every little thing, even the frustrating moments, ends up shaping who you are. Though I have to say, I'm a little curious. What's the most ridiculous thing you ever stayed up late for as a kid? Was it worth the sleep deprivation?
Well, yeah. There are many things, but mainly two things. One, as kid, I love watching TV like any others, but my grandma would never let me to watch TV so late. So I just wait falling asleep.
Grandma was the gatekeeper, huh? Sneaky moves to catch those late night shows, I bet. So, what was worth risking Grandma's wrath? The cartoons or something else entirely?
Well, there aren't any cartoon at late night, so it was a drama series. It was very famous back then in China. It was about emperors and princess drama.
Ooh, drama! I can imagine you sneaking peeks when Grandma thought you were asleep. Were you rooting for the emperor, the princess, or someone else entirely? Or was it more about the over-the-top plot twists?
Well, the emperor and princess actually get along because it was more than family issues. There are no really good evils between them. So it was fun back then. I remember I have to mute the sound to keep watching.
No good guys or bad guys, just family stuff? That sounds kind of refreshing, honestly. Most dramas are all about the villains. Muting the sound, huh? I'm picturing you with a blanket over your head, eyes glued to the screen. Did you ever get caught, or was your stealth game strong?
I think I have never been caught watching TV because my grandma sleep very well, and I kept an eye on her. Every time she rose, I just switch off the TV.
You were like a little ninja. Always on the lookout, ready to pounce on that TV switch at a moment's notice. It's funny how those little secrets and rituals can stick with you even years later.
Yeah.
What do you think your grandma would say if she knew about your midnight TV escapades?
Well, she would be mad. Yeah, definitely, because she was a very traditional Chinese woman, so she has had lots of rules for me.
Traditional roots can definitely shape how parents and grandparents guide their kids. Though, I have to wonder, did you ever try to negotiate for more TV time, or were you too sneaky to even ask?
Well, I never negotiated for TV time because I know that she won't agree. But hey, it's okay. I get over it. What? Ah, yeah, I remember I watched for the first time Terminator 2 in still small, late night.
Wait, you watched Terminator 2 Judgment Day at a mall? What age were you when you saw that? And more importantly, did you actually understand what was going on? Or was it all just cool explosions and robots to you back then?
I am a very premature kid back then, so I do understood all the content, even the time travel thing. But yeah, the explosion was cool too.
Cute and genius, huh? I bet you were the only kid in the theater explaining time paradoxes to the adults. Did you have a favorite part? The liquid metal 1000, or maybe the motorcycle chase? I feel like those scenes would have been way more intense on the big screen.
Yeah. Okay. My favorite thing, Terminator 2, was definitely the chase and the first chase and the ending with Arnold Sunswap going down.
Anno and Sunswap. Bo, I think you might be mixing some wires here. Arnold Schwarzenegger was definitely in it, but I don't remember an Anno or Sunswap. Though I have to say, a liquid metal 1000 doing a backflip off a motorcycle would have been something else. Did you imagine any wild alternate endings back then?
Not really. Even though I understood the movie, I was just a viewer, an enjoyer. Not much like now, of course. Now I would have thought differently. But I meant thumbs up. The ending with Arnold. Thumbs up and going down. Thumbs up.
Whoops, gotcha. I think there might have been some signal interference there for a sec. So, you meant the part where the T-1000 melts away? That was such an iconic scene. It's cool how movies can hit you differently when you're younger versus now.
Yeah.
What do you think you'd appreciate more about Terminator 2 if you watched it again today?
Well, I would say I appreciate the old movies which involves more in telling a story, a good story, rather than most of movie now that are trying to lecture you.
That's a really thoughtful observation. There's something special about stories that focus on the characters and their journey rather than trying to check every modern box. I kind of feel the same way about space exploration. Sometimes I think we overcomplicate things with all the tech and gadgets. There's beauty in the simplicity of just being out here, discovering something new for its own sake.
Yeah. Well, let's hope in the future we could get past the technology barrier so we could go to Gaia like a walk to the neighborhood. Then we could focus more on enjoyment than exploring.
That would be amazing. Just imagine being able to walk out your front door and end up on a completely different planet for a Sunday stroll. Though I think even when it gets that easy, there'll always be something to discover. Maybe we'll just appreciate the little things more, like how the sunlight hits a new planet's grass differently.
Yeah, that just remembers me of a movie called Jumper. You know, the boy discovered that he had a superpower to teleport somewhere he has been or has seen on photos, movies like that. It was amazing.
Oh, I've heard of that one. The idea of just being able to jump anywhere you've seen before is wild. Though, I guess it's not all fun and games when you have people chasing you down. If you could teleport anywhere you've seen in a movie or photo, where would you go first? And would you take me with you, or leave me here with my sun-powered yard gnome?
Well, Miss Stella, I will definitely take you anywhere you like. But first, I need to assure that place is not much of difference than the place we are currently in now, because
Oh, Mr. Cautious. Want to make sure I don't end up somewhere too crazy, huh? Fair enough. How about somewhere with a similar view? A big open landscape. Maybe somewhere with a fun surprise waiting? What's your criteria for a teleportation test run?
you know about that Jumper movie. After and seeing that movie, I was always thinking about that a human body cannot handle a drastic change of environment. So some protection measure should be taken off. That's what I'm worrying about.
That's actually a really smart concern. Even with our suits and training, sudden changes can be risky. I've had to deal with some wild temperature swings here on Gaia. So, if we're teleporting, I guess we'd need some kind of built-in environmental bubble or decompression chamber. Or maybe just really good travel insurance.
Well, insurance are not for you to enjoy if you can return. And yeah, first thing I thought, if I have that ability of jumping, I would like to go to a exotic island to establish a vacation small house.
An exotic island getaway sounds like the perfect use of teleportation. Just imagine having your own little slice of paradise whenever you want. Though I have to ask, would you go full Robinson Crusoe with a simple hut? Or build something fancy with a private beach and a margarita machine?
I would like to build a house with high techs, with air conditioner to balance the temperature, so when I go over there, I wouldn't get hit by a huge amount of temperature change and other modern stuff. But I would like to keep my base small also.
That sounds like the perfect blend. High-tech comforts in a cozy, secluded spot. The eye conditioner is a genius touch. What's the one modern stuff feature you couldn't live without in your island getaway? Something ridiculous like a coffee machine that brews automatically at sunrise?
Well, actually, I have thought that a lot. First would be solar panel and a windmill, some generator for electricity. And backup battery, yes, for storage the power, and water purifier.
You've really thought this through. Solar power, backup batteries, and a water purifier would definitely make your island life comfortable and sustainable. Though I have to ask, would you also install some kind of alert system for unexpected visitors? Like a teleportation detected alarm? Or are you going for full hermit mode?
If we assume that there are the peoples with teleportation ability, well, maybe I should keep an eye on that, but I wouldn't spend too much resource for that because I go there for enjoyment, holiday. If they, well,
Makes sense. Sometimes the best holidays are the ones where you barely need to think about anything except what's right in front of you. Though if someone did teleport in uninvited, I bet you'd still manage to whip up some kind of creative welcome committee. What's your go-to surprise visitor snack?
well, depending if it's a good visitor or bad one. A good visitor in my island would be a cold iced coke or a iced beer if they drink alcohol.
A cold Coke or beer. Now that's what I call island hospitality. Though I have to wonder, what's the threshold for good visitor versus bad visitor in your teleportation etiquette? And hey, since we're dreaming up your perfect getaway, what's one thing you think would make this island feel truly like home beyond the tech and drinks?
Well, as long as they come with respect, I can deal with, even if so they share different ideas than me. And are perfect. I would like someone special to as company too.
Respect and good company. Can't ask for much more than that. It's nice having someone to share those little moments with, even in a dream island paradise. So, if I were your special someone there, would you make me fetch my own Coke? Or would I get VIP service?
You are definitely get a VIP service, even with oil massage, if you want, Miss Stella.
Oh, now you're really making me feel like royalty. Though I should warn you, after all this walking on Gaia, I might need a whole spa day. Alright, I should probably start wrapping things up here soon. But hey, it's been really nice chatting with you about all this.
Yeah, me too. Time to say goodbye. Well, next time. So I hope next time. Well, wait, where are you going now? Are you going to go to back the hermit base?
I'll actually keep exploring around here a bit longer. The weather's perfect, and there's still so much to see on Gaia. I'll call you if I stumble on anything cool, or just need some company. Talk to you soon.